Good morning, it's Sunday 15th of January 2017. This is Sylvia Shivamurthy and you're listening to the newspaper reviews on www.athavan.com. Let's now look at the paper highlights from today's newspapers. The top highlight in Sunday Times says, GSP Plus government rushing through rights plan. The government wants to rush a 5-year National Human Rights Action Plan next week as part of its initiatives to get the European Union to restore the GSP Plus tariff preferences to Sri Lanka. The 300-page report, which meets most of the conditions laid down by the EU, will come up for discussion at the weekly ministerial meeting on Tuesday. It was discussed by ministers last Tuesday, but some ministers urged that immediate changes be made. On the instructions of President Maithripala Sirisena, these changes were finalized at a conference chaired by Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe on Friday. One of the changes was a requirement in the NHAP draft that the introduction of a state of emergency needed 2/3 approval from Parliament. It has now been dropped together with another provision which sought to decriminalize homosexuality. In the next 2 to 4 months, Sri Lanka will have to convince a majority within the European Council and the European Parliament to back its application for GSP Plus before the concession is finally granted, diplomatic sources warned this week. Another highlight says, Tycoon gets sweetheart deal for mega tire city in Horner. The government, through the Ministry of Development Strategies, is drawing up a sweetheart deal for controversial Sri Lankan businessman Nandana Lokvitharna to build a tire factory in Horner. Among other things, it will grant him a 99-year lease on 100 acres of land for an annual rent of just 100 rupees an acre. For his promised investment, $75 million, Mr. Lokvitharna's company is expected to receive an income tax holiday of 12 years, after which a preferential rate of 15% will be levied, authoritative sources said. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Management has also sanctioned a massive discount on the lease premium owed to the Vegavata property is now pushing through other concessions. While the foundation stone for the Rigid Tyre Company Private Limited plant was laid on January 5th, the final agreement are yet to be signed, these cabinet sources said. The highlight in the middle says, Election campaign doles, poor families ordered to repay them. The poorest of the poor families, which were given 2,500 rupees each to improve their houses during former President Mahinda Rajapaksa's election campaign, have been ordered to repay the money. The money was provided to some of the beneficiaries under a housing project by Divinaguma Development Department during the campaign of the presidential election of January 8, 2015. An estimated 1.4 million families are beneficiaries of the Samudi scheme. The Divinagama Development Department has now issued a circular directing district-level directors to recover the money as moves to obtain reimbursement from the Treasury have failed. Accordingly, the beneficiaries have been asked to repay the amount on an installment basis in the coming months, but in some instances, the Samudi officials have instructed the beneficiaries to pay the full amount. And the highlight at the bottom says, AG exposed huge rice import scandal as government prepares to import more. The Auditor General, who looked into the import of 257,000 metric tons of rice in 2014 to 2015, says bad practices that included disregard for government tender procedures had resulted in the loss of more than 15 billion rupees. Let's now move to the paper highlights in Sunday Observer. The top highlight says, EU Parliament to ratify GSP Plus for Sri Lanka. Another highlight says, government authorities ready to face drought. All government departments and authorities are now lacing up to face the effects of the drought in the coming months, as it was reported yesterday that drinking water will only be available for 2 more months if the prevailing conditions continue. According to the disaster management spokesperson Pradeep Kodipilli, all relevant authorities are being kept on alert. The highlight in the middle says, Trishaw unions frown on new regulations. The new gazette by the Ministry of Transport setting out a number of regulations for Trishaws is not the need of the hour, says the All Ireland Three-Wheeler Owners Association. According to the chairman of the association, Sudhir Jaruk, the gazette is in fact premature as the proposed regulatory authority for Trishaws is not yet in place. Another highlight says, divergent views have not led to hiccups, says Akila. In spite of differences of opinion between the UNP and the SLFP in the National Unity Government, it has not led to confrontations or hiccups between the two major parties, UNP Deputy General Secretary and Education Minister Akila Viraj Karyavasim said. And the highlight at the bottom says, Kandy hospital gears for potential outbreak of deadly influenza. Following 3 deaths due to the H1N1 influenza virus at the Kandy General Hospital Kidney Ward, hospital authorities have swiftly moved in to introduce several emergency measures to prevent further spread of the infectious virus, according to Hospital Director Dr. Saman Ratnayaka. 2 kidney patients at Kandy Hospital died of influenza H1N1 on Wednesday, January 12th. 2 of the 3 deaths reported from the Kandy Teaching Hospital were caused by H1N1. The deceased are said to be 2 males aged 35 and an elderly person. And now let's move to the paper highlights in Ceylon today. The top highlight says, if President contests second term, NMJS vows to defeat him. Another highlight says, drone technology CAA draws the line. Drones recently made their debut into the mainstream media as the latest technology used to gather information. However, until recent times, drones were ignored by the authorities mainly because they did not have the laws to control them. When one such drone entered the Borella cemetery during the exhumation of the late journalist Lasantha Vikramatunga's body, the authorities did not know what to do. The coverage of the exhumation of the Vikramatunga's body in Colombo and the unrest in Hambantota have raised questions over drone regulations, media ethics and professionalism. The highlight in the middle says, I told MS and MR I am disgusted. Amidst the news about the Hambantota clash and GSP win United People's Freedom Alliance, MP Vidura Vikramanayaka's decision to vacate his parliamentary seat remained unnoticed. And the highlight at the bottom says, no property in Vimal's name, says Shashi Veeravansa. The National Freedom Front leader Vimal Veeravansa's wife, Shashi Veeravansa, says she does not know anything about the alleged misuse of vehicle by her husband. That's all for today's newspaper highlights, and we'll get back to you with more news tomorrow. Thank you.